find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Doing suck it up. See, one thing about me is
I am woman, I am fearless, I am sexy, I'm divine, I'm unbeatable, I'm creative.
But you ain't really good.
Look at that girl. Look at that hair. See it? It's falling from the sky. Like, where'd it go? I heard a loud cry. Wow.
Stitch this with some weird shit that your kid told you that you'll never forget. My daughter turns 5 tomorrow, and she's extremely spiritually inclined, very gifted to say the very least, but I'm gonna try to make this short and simple. So one day my daughter is in the bathroom with me while I'm trying to drop my load, because you know mamas don't get no privacy. And she tells me, "Mommy, I love you." I'm like, "I love you too, baby." She like, "But sometimes I miss my old mom." She's like, "Yeah, I used to live with my old mom, my dad, and my dog. But my mom had to leave us because our house burned down." She says she's very powerful, and now she watches over me from the stars. She visits me in my dreams, and she always says she's coming back. And she tells me that I have to stay with you for some time. She talks about the dog all the time. She also knows that her father in this lifetime was not her father the last lifetime. She speaks in a goddess-like tone, and her story has never changed. I'm still working on healing this with her. She's amazing.
All right, you know who that is?
Oh my God, yes, I know who that is.
I don't think you're expecting what you're about to see.
Oh God, it's like seeing him alive again.
It really is. And I've never got to see him alive before, so it's like seeing him for the first time.
It's almost like you brought my daddy alive again for a while for me. Now, if you use my mom's picture, she might start talking to you.
She's liable to reach through and slap me.
No, she'll tell me everything I'm doing wrong.
You ready?
Yeah.
It's amazing, kid.
That is.
I hear the train a-comin'. It's rollin' around the bend. And I ain't seen the sunshine. I don't know when. I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, and time keeps dragging on. But that train keeps a-rollin'. All down the San Antonio. All down the San Antonio. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy. Don't ever play with guns.
I'm still reaping the blessings of everything these people did 100 or 200 years ago, then why would...
This video got me thinking. He goes on to say that it's only logical to assume that the descendants of the slaves buried in that cemetery 100, 200 years ago are still enduring the repercussions of what their ancestors had to go through. And I wanted to find a statistic that would represent what he was talking about. I thought about generational trauma, but there are still naysayers when it comes to that. So I decided to look at the generational wealth gap between Black families and white families in America. And specifically looking at the top 10% of both of those groups, the median family income for white Americans is almost $1.8 million. And in contrast, for Black families, it's $340,000 roughly. Think about that. And then I got on to what's the biggest way to acquire wealth in this country? Owning property. I'm gonna figure out what this is all about. Follow me if you want to figure out what.
Meet Mona Lisa, a Black woman Nehru found by Apollo 20 in 1872 on her own spaceship, which she was piloting. She is said to be 1.5 billion years old. They found her fully intact with her face gear on her apparatus for piloting her ship, on her head, forehead, and on her eyes and in her nose. The apparatus said she was said to be 5 feet 4 inches tall. They also found with her as co-pilot a bluish gray being present. They only found the head part of that being. But here you see just how far back melanated people go, and melanated women piloting spaceships. Yes, they call her Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa also had 6 fingers.
Just wanted to let you know, at lunch today, Clara was in tears at her table when they first came in. And so I walked over to her, made her stand up, and then I gave her a big hug and asked her what was going on. And she said, my grandmother died. And she said, a long time ago, and I couldn't quite get it. And I said, well, do you feel her presence today? And she said, yes. And I said, I know what that feels like. When people that have left this life, sometimes they come with us and they're hanging out with us. And I'll bet she said, I'm going to go hang out with Clara today. And that's probably what you're feeling. You're feeling her presence. I asked her if she could feel it. She said yes. And so she started to smile. We sat down. I pulled a chair out opposite of her and looked up and said, here, this is for you, Grandma. So we set Grandma at the table, and she ate and was happy and pleasant, all period, no more tears. So I don't know what she's feeling. I know your dad is not well, so I don't know if she was feeling anxiety about that, or I don't know if her grandmother was there, which certainly does not surprise me. But anyway, she felt a presence today. She was very emotional, but she got through it after she had lunch with Grandma. Have a lovely day. Bye.
Going through all this trouble for a little stool. It's actually pretty old, and the history is kind of cool. Look at these nails that they use on the fabric. Nobody uses those anymore. This is a milking stool, most likely, and could be as old as from like the 50s. It looks like they use hair to stuff it. Yes, I do know it's not.
Our friend then goes on to say that she knows that that's not real hair, but obviously it's real hair because the towel to keep the moisture, to basically mummify the hair, was placed there for a reason. This is what I be talking about with the fake ally type shit. Just say what it is. Say what it is. Say what your ancestors did to us. They scalped us and used us for furniture. When people ask me why I don't speak on certain things and why I don't talk about certain things, because the way that I talk about certain stuff, I don't have a nice way to say it. There is no nice way to say it. This video does something to my spirit genuinely, in a way that it's like, y'all know y'all owe us everything y'all got, right? We know, you know. It's only a matter of time till we just start admitting it, right? So we can just go ahead and save the world as we supposed to be doing. The world been ours, and y'all are trying so hard to hide it that y'all refuse to understand how horrible y'all history really is. Girl.